everybody, welcome to another video. I just thought I would bring you this mega video of the candy corn craft that I've done in the past, and also for me to touch base with you and see how you're all doing. This one goes back to 2016, so this is the oldest one of the ones that are in this compilation. I still use these, I'm using them this year. There is one on here that I created on here and then I had to throw away because when I was sorting out the attic earlier this year, the paint had come away, and that was one you'll see further on in the video. That's on the plastic football cones. So if you do recreate the plastic football cone one, then I would seal it with some clear sealant. So how are you all? What you've been up to? Let me know in the comments. I'm just going to do a little bit of narration through these and tell you if I still use them, what I would do differently. I think what I would do differently with these ones is I don't think I would use the vintage photo that I use on over the top of the twine at the end. I think I would have left that off, even though it gives them kind of a rustic old look. I think I would like them to be more vivid as they are here now. As you can see, the two smaller ones on the table. So let's cut back into the actual sound from the video itself, see what I'm saying from 2016, which seems like so long ago now, which it was really. So it's not going to be as visible. Now I've got these spools of kind of raffia. Okay, it's Future Gareth again. The one that I was just talking about in the last voice clip, for some unknown reason, is corrupt. It won't let me edit it or overlay any narration over the top, so I've had to take that out of this playlist. So ignore what I was just saying in the last voice note, because that particular DIY project is no longer in this video. It's glue that has glitter in it, so it gives it the sheen. And then I've just gone over sections with the distress ink. So I am going to finish off painting this. I'm not going to bother painting a white because obviously the polystyrene is white anyway, so that's just a stage where it's not needed. The next bit I'm going to paint is then orange. Once that's done and dry, I will come back to you. Okay, the next step is to apply some Mod Podge or some Arling's tacky glue or Kalau tacky glue, which is also stocked in my store. Any kind of adhesive that you want to use. I'm just going to put some of this leftover Mod Podge just to use it up, and using the yellow I'm going to put a little knot in it and a flathead pin, or not a flathead pin, it's a pin with a bead on the end, and I'm going to use that to secure. And I'm going to go round and around. I'm going to make sure that this yellow twine covers this. So I'm going to go round and around all the way up to my paint line, and I'm going to overlap it, give it a nice good thick coverage. Need some more Mod Podge just down here. Need to make sure that this is all covered. Right, I'll fast forward this bit, or I will just carry on. Well, actually no, what I'll do is I'll carry on doing the 3 layers in the same way,
and then I'll come back and do the next step with you. Okay, I'm just coming back on because obviously if you have one of these polystyrene or styrofoam cone forms, then the top can be quite tricky. If you have some of the ones where it has the flat top, then obviously this part is going to be easier. But what I tend to do is I tend to soak the top so that this twine or string is really wet, and that kind of helps mold it to the peak. Now I am going to poke in a Halloween, some sort of Halloween themed item in the top, like I did with the previous two, like I showed you at the beginning. So I'm not going to be worried about covering it completely. Now that's how much I have left of the orange, that's how much I have left of the yellow, and these were 100 meters, and that's what I have left of the white. So obviously the white is loads left. The larger form takes a lot, and obviously it reduces the amount, you know, once you do the smaller ones. So if you can get anything up to kind of from 10 meters for the small one, then maybe 30 40 for the medium, and then anything up to 50 meters for the large. So as you can see, I've just got my pins in to keep it in place. Now I'm going to coat it with my glitter glue. Now like I said, it's not the art glitter glue, that is a glue that has glitter in it, so it's a glitter glue, and this one's an iridescent. So I'm simply going to use a paintbrush that I don't mind messing up, and I'm just going to paint all over this.
This step here is completely pointless because I go over the top with Vintage Photo at the end, so you don't actually see the sparkle. So I probably would have skipped this stage if I wanted to use the Vintage Photo to give it an age look, or instead of using the Vintage Photo for an age look, put the sparkle on to give it a more current or modern look. The other thing I don't use the toppers anymore. I don't have them on there, I just have them freestanding without the toppers. I guess they were just a bit whimsy when I created them all those years ago.
Right, so the glitter is all over the tree. So the last thing to do is to use my Vintage Photo, and as I said, I just want to give this a kind of, I don't want it to be as clean and fresh as it appears, so I'm just going to give it a bit of a distressed look. If you don't want the distressed look, then obviously don't do this stage, but I don't want it to be so crisp, because obviously Halloween is more kind of, you know, oldie worldy. So these I've just created, these were sent to me last year, and I've just adhered a wooden pick on the back and then put some black cardstock over the top of it to secure them, and I'm simply going to push those into the top, and I've done that on all three. So there we go. They will sit nicely on my mantelpiece probably, or the table, or just somewhere over the Halloween season. Thank you very much for joining me. If you recreate this, please share it on my group. G's Creations is now my creation. There'll be a link below, and I will see you again very soon with another craft. Take care now.
Hello. I did this series back in 2020, and I did 3 videos. It was like a mini series, so this is the first one, and that was back, so that was during COVID. So I would have done this earlier in the year, so this would have been done probably during the lockdowns. So obviously it's 2023 as I do this particular can call this like a mega video. So this is 2023, so this is 3 years later. I still use this. I'm not using it this year, but I still use this. One thing I like about this video is if I remember correctly, I think I start to use some thick twine, and then I have to change gears and go an alternative route. So let me stop yammering, and if you can hear like a humming noise, it's the fan on the desk, just so you know what that is. Let's get back to the video. And it's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and it's 1.5 inches thick. So obviously it's not going to be Christmas. I'm going to paint it. Oh, if I can get this open. I'm going to use my black gesso, and we're going to paint it black. So you'll need some sort of wooden base. Now you don't have to use this. You can get some a nice piece of rustic wood slice from your craft stores, or even your home stores. If you're lucky enough to have someone in your family that does DIY and woodwork, you can grab some scraps from them. You're also going to need some nails. The nails I'm using are 13mm or 1/2 inch. You'll need a hammer, and you'll need some twine or some thread, because we're going to do some string art on this. So I am going to cover this all up with this black gesso, and then I'll come back when it's all done. Okay crafters, that's all coated. I will do the back, but I'll do that at a later date. And now I'm going to put this iridescent glitter glue on it, because obviously I don't want this to be flat black. I want this to have, you know, that Halloween holiday sparkle. So instead of having it just flat black, I've got this iridescent glitter glue. Now this is just clear glue that has glitter in it. And I'm going to go over the top and all over this, the sides, the back, the front. Just like I did in the signs I did during the Halloween in August. Okay crafters, that is now drying. It's going to take a while to dry. I went on to the internet and I typed in candy corn template. I will link the link, no, I'll have a link to this template in the description or comments below. I'm just going to cut them out. So I'm going to cut these out and use them as a template for where I need the nails to be. And I've just had it printed off on A4 printer paper, and because it comes in sections you can overlap them so it's not so small and not too big for the space. Okay, so that's that. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, that fits perfectly when put together. Okay, so I am going to start with the base, and I'm going to bring out my nails, and I will start hammering these in, but I will turn off the sound because obviously you don't want to hear me, you know, hammering in 1,000 nails. Making sure it's in the right place. These nails are quite small. I may have to use my
tweezers. Which I can never find. Okay. Okay, crafters, I've moved from my tweezers to a pair of pliers. It has a much better grip on the nails. And there's a tip for you crafters. Picking up nails, grab hold of some a magnet. It'll be so much quicker than picking them up individually. Anywhere else? Yep, that's it. Okay, and you don't have to use a template. I use a template because I wanted the segregations, but you could quite easily just draw a candy corn on there in pencil lightly, and then you know, get rid of it, rub it out. So I am now going to take this template away. Oh, so you know what I forgot to do, crafters? I forgot to do that barrier there, so I'm not quite finished. Back to the hammer and nails. Okay, let's finish taking this off. Okay, now I was going to use some very thin thread, but I don't have any white, so I have opted to use some jute twine that I've got in an off-white, an orange and a yellow. So I'm going to start with the white first. Let me zoom you in. Okay, so I'm going to start with the white, if I can find the end, and I'm going to tie it on. Now the reason I am starting with the white first is I want to go on, the white will go from here to here, but the orange will go from here to here and the yellow will go from here to here. So I want the next colour to be on top of the previous colour. Hopefully that made sense. So let me just tie this on. Okay, I've got my thread and I'm going to go around each of the nails and looping it back on itself. It's probably going to be quite hard to see on camera, and I'm going to push it down so it's like that. So pushing it back on itself, and making sure that the rope is towards the base, because I am going to do multiple layers. My fingers are going to be in the way. This is just one of those crafts where it's going to be more visual than more ultra true than visual. I will bring it back up to you. Right, I'm back up to the top. I'm going to go round, so that's what the top looks like. And now I'm just going to go round my nails to give it a pattern. And again, you can go doubly round them if you wish, or singly. Make a knot, making a hole for the knot first, taking it round. Again, my fingers are going to be in the way, I apologise, but that is just the way it is with this type of craft, I'm afraid. Making sure that it's tight and that nail is secure. Okay, that's the white stuff. Now it comes to the orange, and again I'm going to start on the side here. On this one here. And we are going to go around the previous bottom of the previous colour. Making sure I have enough. If this was the thinner thread, it'd be a lot easier to do, because I'm using the twine, it's taking up more space. That one's fallen down a bit too much, need to lift it slightly. So if you're going to use the twine, I recommend you use longer nails. Okay, crafters, there we go. It was a bit of a bit of a struggle in places, but like I said, if you're going to use thicker jute, then I would use longer nails. I really wanted to use these, but I didn't have white, because I think it would have worked much better. If I do get hold of some white, I will probably redo this using this thinner thread. I just don't have white. I know I had white. I just don't know where it's gone. I must have used it. I have to try and look online, see if I can get some white. But there you go. Give it a go and see how it turns out for you. But I'm really happy with that. I definitely want to swap it over though for the thinner because I really don't like it with this thicker stuff. So what I think I'm going to do, crafters, I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to do the orange and the yellow, and I'm going to order some white. So that's what it looks like this. That's this portion of this video done. I'm going to come back once the white arrives and I will show you what it looks like once I've redone the so here we go, crafters. Cord. This is the end result using the cotton thread rather than that thick twine, that jute twine, and it looks so much better. So I would bypass the jute twine unless you're going to use larger nails, but you see how it's multiple layers, so you have to push it down. So I really like it. I'm really glad the way it turned out. Really happy with it. So there we go, that's that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Hello crafters, welcome to video number 2 in my candy corn series of 2020. I'm going to be making a candy corn topiary, pumpkin topiary. I have these white faux foam pumpkins that I got on eBay and Amazon. As you can see, this one's slightly damaged, so I'll make sure that that's on the back. So I'm going to take out the can't remember what these are called, crafters. It's completely escaped me. And in the medium size, and I think I'll probably swap over the green one on the small one for the brown. This one here, the white one, I don't have to paint, because as you know, the candy corn is orange, yellow and white, so I don't need to worry about painting that. So I'm going to leave that to one side. I've got some orange and yellow paints here, so my medium one needs to be orange and my large one needs to be yellow. I'm hoping I've got enough yellow paint here, because I know there's not much in this at all. So fingers crossed I have enough, crafters. Fingers crossed. I'm going to use these are just acrylic paints. Instead of having it flat with the paint, I am going to do something else just to give it that extra special Halloween, decorness to it. Otherwise the yellow paint is just flat, so I need to do something else to elevate it. As you can see, this one got damaged in transit, which is a bummer, but I'll just turn it to the back so you don't see it. Now I'm going to cover this. I'm not worried about the center here, because I'm going to be attaching the medium sized one to that, so I'm not too bothered about the top there. And these will take a couple of coats. Thankfully this is the slightly thicker acrylic paint, not the really thin stuff that's sold at Poundland nowadays. Okay, so let's put that one to one side. Let's do our smaller one.
Again, these are creations that I
So I'm
still
going to
own.
let
and
the
still
outside
use
when I
today.
paint it
I
dry,
really
then I
find
should
it
paint the
weird how
underneath.
the yellow looks so
But obviously not too much because it's going
fluorescent, but it's not
to be
fluorescent
attached
in
to
real
the
life, so I
yellow
guess
one.
that's down to the resolution of the screens.
And I will give it another coat as well.
I don't have the big one anymore.
So
that
I'll give
one,
these 2 or 3 coats.
I stored it
right
in
back
loft,
with
and
you.
somehow
Okay,
the
crafters,
larger
these are
one
more or less dry. So now I'm
it
going to
swelled
hot glue
for some reason. I don't know
my
why.
orange one.
Maybe
to the
it's
top
to do with
of
the
my
cake
deformed
production
yellow
and
one.
baking, because obviously we had a very
Just
hot
going to
summer
use hot
last
glue.
year.
In the past I have used Arlen's tacky glue,
Why?
and that
But I still got the other
wonders.
two, and they were fine.
For video
So
purposes
still
and
use
speed,
them.
I'm going to use the
I used them this year actually.
hot glue.
Another
Then
really
we're going
simple,
to hot glue
simple
the
craft.
white one on top.
For anyone to do really.
Now you certainly can paint the white one if you wish, but as it's already white, I didn't see the point in wasting acrylic paint or gesso or anything like that. I just didn't see the point, but obviously do what you feel is right for you. Okay, now I've just cut open my iridescent glitter glue because there's only the little bit in the top and the bottom, and I need to be able to get to it. So I am going to now use the iridescent glitter, and I'm going to put glitter on the 2 that I painted, so the orange and the yellow. But again, whoops, my top isn't on properly. It obviously needs a little bit more glue, probably because of the shape. I'm not going to go down the entirety of the pumpkin, just the top fading down, so kind of halfway. I'm hoping that shows up on camera. So I'm going from the top to about here, and as you can see there's a line there as well from the mold of the foam. And you certainly could do the white as well, but I want the yellow and the orange to sparkle, and then I want the white to, you know, just be there. I will need to clean that white pumpkin because I've got paint on my hands, as you can probably see, and I need to go in a bit further with my orange. So let's do that. Let's wipe our white pumpkin down. And our fingers. Look at my fingers. While this one was drying, I was recording the video for the next installment of this series. So there's 3 videos. 1 was out last week and 2 will be out this week, if it all goes to plan. Okay, so I have my orange and a little paintbrush, and I'm going to simply cover that, which that I miss. Okay, let's go back to our glitter. I mean, they're all well and good when they're flat, but I really want to put a bit of sparkle on them. I am just going to, as you can see, there's some orange on my paintbrush, so I'm just going to go down my yellow one. So that's a happy accent, just to give some highlights to the pumpkin below. Not too much, because I don't want to take away from the fact that it's a yellow pumpkin. So I'm going to let that dry, crafters, and then we'll come on to the next bit. Okay, crafters, just to finish this off, this is the front of my pumpkin, and I've got a dip there, so I just want to kind of hide it, I guess. So I've got this ribbon, I don't know where it's from, it's in my stash, so I'm going to cut off a length, and I think I'm going to hot glue a little bit of ribbon around the neck here, or maybe just put a bow. I think if I put the ribbon around the neck, it's going to make it look all odd. So just do a shoelace bow. This is how I tie my shoelaces anyway. Maybe hot glue that just there. And I've got these little resin pieces, candy corn, that I've had in my stash for years. So I think I might hot glue this bow on and then hot glue one of the resin pieces in the center. So it's like that, crafters. And then have the resin piece in there too. For no reason other than whimsy. Okay, I'm happy with that. So let me bring over the other ones that I did, crafters, and the other ones are slightly smaller. So when the glitter glue dries, it gives it that really nice sheen. So I've got two of these, so this one's slightly larger with the bit of detail in the middle. So I'm really happy with the way that they turn out. Hello everybody, welcome to Acorn and Oak and today's video. Today we're going to be changing this candle stand. Now this candle stand I brought on a pack of 2 off Amazon. I don't think they're listed anymore, but if they are, I will link them below. And when I saw them, I thought, you know, I like them, you know, I think I'll keep them as they are. But when they arrived and I looked at them further, the first thing that came to mind was candy corn. So we're going to alter this to look like a candy corn candle stand. So it's just a simple cone, metal cone that's been spray painted and made to look like marble, and this is a separate piece which is just what's the word, it's just got a nut, a screw and nut. Now I need to take that off. Now I need to find my,
I know you probably won't be able to get these candle holders from Amazon anymore. I haven't seen them since I bought them, but you could do this using the paper mache trees forms that you can buy, or even the polystyrene tree forms you can buy, and then just put a layer of the air dry clay, which I do with these, and then you can buy the metal candlestick holders, and then you use a Dremel or some other device to cut the base off. So you use the base as the candle holder, or if you want to taper, then you use the other end. But that's just an alternative if you can't get hold of something like this.
The tool that I used in the first one that I did, you are going to need some clay. Now I'm using Das air dry clay, and I suggest you get air dry clay if you're going to attempt this. I mean, one thing I will say is that if you want to recreate this, you don't need this form. You could just make this form using the clay, or you could get a polystyrene or paper mache cone form, and then try and find some sort of candle holder from the Dollar Tree or the pound store, that type of thing. So what we're going to do, I've also got an MDF base which I'm going to use to put this on when we're finished, to give it a bit more oomph. So I'm going to put all these to one side. This will be painted black using my black gesso. But what I'm going to do first is we're going to cover this in air dry clay. So I'm just going to meld it together. I'm just going to roll it out slightly. I don't want it to be overly thin, and I'm just going to build up a layer here on the outside. Again, I like to give it a good, you know, mold, if you like, meld. Okay, now you don't have to roll this out. I just want to try and get it a universal a thickness as possible, but it doesn't matter. In fact, I think I'll leave this to one side and just do it using eyesight, because that's what I did with the first one I did. It's before I got my tools. I mean, these are tools at the end of the day, aren't they? You will need to make sure that you blend all your pieces together. And I really don't mind having indentations from my fingers in it. I think it just gives it more of a homemade kind of, you know, craft fair boutique kind of feel. That doesn't bother me at all, but if it bothers you, you can go over it with some water and make it all smooth. That's entirely your choice. But once we cover it with the paint, there's something to give it a bit of sparkle. You're not really going to see it anyway. Now, depending on what surface you have, I've got this metal painted surface, so this gives it a nice key for this air dry clay to cling to. If you're using an alternative base, i.e. a cone tree or paper mache tree, you may need to glue the air dry clay or put some adhesive on it. Do a test run and see if it sticks. Okay, so that's completely covered. Now I'm going to leave this to dry for a couple of days, and I'm going to paint this with my black gesso. So I'm going to give all these copper, you know, rose gold, whatever you want to call them, I'm going to give these all a couple of coats of the black gesso, and that's my Pebeo gesso. And then we will move on to construction, painting our candy corn, putting the base together, and making these look like some great candle stands to use in the autumn and Halloween season. So I'll see you in a moment. Okay everybody, this is now dry. As you can see, I have a lot of imperfections in it, which is perfect because obviously it's meant to replicate a sweet, you know, a candy. So I've got yellow paint in here and I've got orange paint in here. Is that orange? Or is that red? Did I put red in? Ugh, jeez. I put red in there, crafters. Ugh, okay. I'm sure we'll sort that out. So obviously we all know that candy corn is yellow, orange and then white. So I'm going to stipple this really cheap, runny, horrible acrylic paint from Poundland onto here. I don't like it at all, but I'm going to use it. Don't like wasting, especially when it's cost me money. so I'm going to go up about 2 inches with the yellow. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some of that red over, because I poured out red instead of orange. I don't want to waste it, so let me see if I can turn it into an orange. It's got to be a light orange, I don't want it too dark. So far that's very, very dark. It's really runny, this acrylic paint. Still too red for my taste. Okay, that's better. Okay, let's add some orange. Blend the two bits where it's connecting. Going back and forth with the yellow and orange just to get it so it's blending nicely. I don't want there to be a distinctive line. Okay, and when it comes to the top, I'm going to just use my white gesso. Okay crafters, this is dry. Now I'm going to use some matte Mod Podge and go over the base here.
I have to say that I actually really like the way that these turn out. They could be something you could find in a store, in my opinion. I don't know if you agree with me. Please let me know if you agree or disagree. That's fine if you disagree. We're all entitled to our opinions, but I think these turn out really well. And again, it's something that I use fairly regularly. I mean, I only made them back in 2021, so they're only a couple of years old. But I've used them. I think I did a tablescape with them last year. Did I do tablescapes last year? I think I did. You know what? It seems so far away, so long ago. But I really like the way these turn out. I mean, you could literally get some forms and just make large candy corn for your decor as pieces, instead of, you know, paying the extortionate prices they charge in store, and they're usually just foam filled. But yeah, you could make the candy corn solely out of air dry clay, or like I said, use the paper mache forms. That'd be a good direction to go in. But I just wanted to bring you this little snippet, and you know, there's so many of you that are still subscribed, and I really appreciate your comments and your reaching out and so forth. And I just wanted to give you a video to reminisce through, and we can have a conversation in the comments if you want to have a chat with me and see what I've been up to and so forth. I'm probably going to do another one of these with my favourite autumn craft, so I'm probably going to put that out in September. But thank you so much for watching, and hope you're all keeping well. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.
Wasn't very happy with that, so I just put another coat. So that's what they end up looking like. I will put some felt pads on the bottom, and I'll have some pictures with both of them complete and with candles on at the end. Thank you very much for joining me today, crafters, and you'll see me again soon. Take care now. Bye bye.